Rainbow families, welcome to another episode of 360 Rainbow. In today's episode, we're going to see how to take care of a new or a very young curry leaf plant. Things like best potting soil for curry leaf plant, best fertilizers for curry leaf plant, and how to prune and when to prune your curry leaf plant, location, temperature and watering, common deficiency that you face with curry leaf plant, and a very interesting important do's and don'ts chart. To begin with, let's see how to take care of a new or a kind of young curry leaf plant and things that you can do and things that you are not advised to do for such young plants so that they thrive and grow better. If you just got a new plant, make sure that you do not repot it for at least 2 weeks unless you bought it bare root, in other words, if you purchased it without any pot. It needs to be rested for at least 2 weeks in the same pot, and it needs to be indoors near a windowsill if temperature is less than 50. Otherwise, you can place it outdoors in a shaded place. Thereafter, take up proportionally a good sized container with drainage holes. Here I have shown as an example how to choose plant pots related to your plant's height. Here I have just one neem plant among these curry leaf saplings. It's very important to choose an ideal pot for your curry leaf plant. If you choose a bigger pot for smaller plants, the plant energy will be completely concentrated in your plant rooting system rather than the plant foliage. But after 2 years, you can see rapid growth, probably for the next 2 years. If you choose the right planter pot for a curry leaf plant, you can enjoy watching them grow with the distributed energy for both roots and shoots. Choose a well-draining potting mix. Try to cut the existing pot open, or you can safely and gently take the entire root ball with soil and place it in the middle of the pot. Fill all the sides with the potting mix. Have explained the recommended potting soil further in this video. Ensure that the plant stands upright and is firmly set in the soil.
Is it already good?
Pat them really very gently so that the tender roots does not get damaged. This is to be noted as a very important key point. I insist this as most people tend to make error at this step. As a result, your baby plant will get droopy, and if it does not recover, it will die soon. Especially younger plants needs more transplanting care. They are not resilient enough compared to your grown curry leaf plants. Water the plant on the sides and wait till the water drains in the bottom, and water again to make sure the entire soil mass is moist and to ensure the pot is draining well. Now keep the plant in a shaded area for about 15 days. As the roots take ground, ensure that in the evening the plant is stored indoors and not exposed to the lower temperatures. If your temperature goes below 40s, bring them back inside home. Do not feed any fertilizers for about 2 months. Thereafter, as new buds starting to emerge and the plants grows in height, these acidic loving plants need fertilizers as recommended in this video. And now for potting and planting mix. This is the vital part of your curry leaf plant care. You have to choose a well-draining potting mix. You can take 50% cactus soil or palm mix and either 50% of native soil if planted into the ground or 50% azalea or camellia mix, that is the acid mix, if transplanting into a large container. The curry leaf plant likes slightly acidic, loose and well-draining soil. It prefers soil pH between 5.6 to 6. And now regarding the fertilizers. During the month it is outside and only during those months plus 1 month before moving it out, fertilize it with something rich in nitrogen once in a month. When you buy your fertilizers, check for nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium ratio. Make sure your fertilizer is rich in nitrogen level as it helps in plant foliage growth. Phosphorus for root and potassium is for fruits. So comparatively potassium should be less than as compared to other nitrogen and phosphorus content as a fertilizer for your curry leaf plant. So once a month from March to October with a slow release dry granular products such as Osmocoat for acid loving plants and also the liquid fish fertilizer, preferably Atlas or Alaska brand, and its dilution rate can be 3 tablespoons per gallon and 6 cups of diluted fish solution to each curry leaf plant. Or you can even use seaweed fertilizer as well. Every other month, apply some form of iron-based product to it as well. Try using approximately 20% iron sulfate, that is a green colored and sand textured dry product, at the rate of only 2 tablespoons per plant, and increase the quantity as the plant grows. There are other iron products available such as chelated forms of iron, that is in the powdered form. One such product is called Grow More Iron Chelate 10%, and I would only apply 1 teaspoon per plant every other month. Apply 3 tablespoon powdered gypsum the month after the application of iron. In other words, do not apply the gypsum at the same time as the iron. Keep this in mind that the above mentioned suggestions are important for helping the plant actively grow while it is still young. That is for the next 2 years. And our next session of this video is watering the plant. During winter months when it is inside, water only as needed. Too much water will get the roots waterlogged, which will kill the plant. While outdoors, water it often enough to keep it from drying, and of course it depends on where you live, outside day temperature and things like that. It is hard to be precise, but again do not drown the roots. Common mistake watering a pot is either not to pour adequate quantity of water at each watering or over watering by too frequent watering. Here is how to water a potted plant or any other plant, not just a curry leaf plant. At each watering, you should pour enough water until the entire soil mass in the pot is wet and it starts to flow out from the bottom of the pot. This is true whether it is in summer or in winter, whether it is in indoors or outdoors. Once you do this, the way to adjust watering is not just to adjust the quantity of water, but the frequency of watering. That is, how often you water it. So this is when you make sure that the top 1 or 2 inches of the soil is dry before watering again. And now the most interesting part of this video is the pruning. As in general, we can prune the plants anytime, but do not prune as soon as you repotted your plant. Wait for 2 months. Even if you see new growth within a month, make sure that you wait to get the plant recover from the shock. It always takes time for curry leaf plant to recover from repotting shock. Once the plant is stable, you can start pruning throughout the year when it is about 9 to 12 inches tall. So if you see this plant, I have already pruned and I have 2 branches out, and I am going to prune now about 1 to 1.5 inches again to get it even more bushier. and in just 3 to 4 weeks they sprout vigorously and give you more branches. If your requirement is to just harvest for cooking and not to prune in the growing end, you can harvest and make sure you do not pluck only the leaves. Nip the entire petiole without leaving the skeleton in the plant, so that we can stop the plant energy to not get distributed to unused skeleton part. This helps channeling the plant's energy to the growing parts of the plant. This is another tall plant where I cut in the growing end. This is the status before I move them outside this summer. Just this would do great, and you can see how miracle growth that it can produce in just 3 to 4 weeks. And in turn you can keep pruning them once in a month or two so that it produces more branches. Or you can choose to prune one branch at a time. Here you can see how well the plant sprouted more branches in just a week time. It continued to grow vigorously with more buds turned into new branches throughout the main stem. You can see a lot of new buds that are branches out nicely. And at the same time you can notice a lot of black spots in the older leaves, which is a regular disease that occurs during summer. And later I have removed all those older leaves with petioles and sprayed them with neem oil. And you have to remember not to harvest only the leaves and do not leave the skeleton in the plant. If you are harvesting, cut the entire petiole, prune often once it establishes itself. Now I nip all the growing ends. Right now I have 13 growing ends in here. Prune often once it establishes itself, or you can even just nip the ends from all the growing tips, so that will encourage more growth. You can enjoy watch them growing bushier within 3 weeks. You can always cherish watching them grow.
How's that? Strokes?
Here you see again the new branches that are sprouted, and all the leaves you see now are the newer growth after the pruning that I have shown here, and after removing all the complete petioles that are affected with black spots. You can see how tall, fresh and bushy it has grown compared to our earlier display.